Hey man, how you doing? I was just wondering, are you gonna make it to our D&D session this week?
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Is it going to be the same that it always is? Because that's gotten kind of boring.
Well, no. I mean, it's gonna be that way.
Maybe you can spice things up a little bit. Bring something from a good game into your game.
Well, what if I can make it a little better? I got an idea.
If you can do that, I'll be there.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons for the last few years has been so much fun, and it's been this great thing that I have enjoyed playing it with my kids and family and friends, and just it's a great thing. If you haven't tried playing it, you should. But every now and then, playing D&D can get kind of stale when you get into the routines of doing things over and over and over again.
When will this nightmare end?
And so I'm always looking for ways to make D&D a little better. And as I was looking for ways to make it more entertaining, to get out of those routines that I was in, I came up with D&D or Warhammer. So what does it mean to D&D or Warhammer? Well, that's simple. I was looking through models, looking through armies, something that I wanted to 3D print, right? And on that note, stay tuned. Next week's video is going to be about 3D printing Warhammer armies. So if you haven't had a chance, like, subscribe, stay tuned for that video because it'll be a fun one. Anyway, as I was looking through these armies, I've recently really liked getting into Age of Sigmar. And as I was looking through the Skaven army, the Skaven units and things like that, I came across a unit that just kind of stopped me in my tracks. And that was the Doom Wheel. It's literally a giant rat driving a giant wheel that he sits in the center of while shooting lasers left, right, and front. It's the coolest thing ever. Oh, and what powers it? Well, there's a bunch of mice running inside of the wheel. So literally, it's one of the coolest models that I've ever seen. And I looked at this model and I thought, that is such a cool concept. Too bad it's just in Warhammer. And then I thought, well, it doesn't just have to be in Warhammer.
You can do that?
Yes, I can do that.
Often I think we put these separations between everything. There are hundreds of board games out there that all come with models. And you don't have to specifically use those models just for that board game. You can mix and match, right? At least that's what I'm telling myself. And so as I looked at this Doom Wheel, I thought, what can I do with this? What can I do with this Doom Wheel? Sure, I can make a Skaven army and play Warhammer, right? But what else can I do with it? And that was when this idea came into my mind for the big race. Basically what the big race is in my current D&D campaign, my party is looking for treasures, certain items that they need to defeat the big bad. And they don't know where they are. And so they have to look for clues. Well, guess what? One of their clues is being held by this king rat. I've got a model for that too. And the king rat is holding the big race, a cross country or death trap, a race. Think of it, it can be any kind of race. You can make it to whatever you want. But in this race, our party is going to have to make or come up with some kind of car, carriage, magic item that they can ride in this race, which I think is amazing and fun just to begin with that. But then they're going to be up against other things, including these Doom Wheels. And so now I'm thinking of all these ideas for D&D about how they can have combat while in, whatever their car is. And they're both sides. They've got Doom Wheels on either side of them that are coming in, throwing rats and lasers and, just stuff like that. Like, my mind just kind of went crazy with it. And I'm so excited to plan it and to have my party run it. And this all happened because I started thinking of what I could do if I pulled Warhammer into my D&D campaign. So how do you D&D your Warhammer? Simple. Look at the models that you have. Look at what you have in your possession. Or look at what you can 3D print if you have a 3D printer. and start thinking of ways to bring that in. Start thinking of ways to bring Warhammer into your D&D campaign. Okay, and it goes both ways. I feel like one of the biggest hurdles that people face when it comes to getting into D&D is that it's hard. It's an investment. You know, it's the same thing that it's difficult getting into Warhammer because it's an investment, a big investment. You know, and once you spend all this money on the army, are you going to like it? Well, D&D or Warhammer solves both those issues. You can use your Warhammer miniatures to start playing D&D. A group of Space Marines, awesome. They could be your party. They could be your paladins. Orcs, goblins. The first people you want to fight are orcs. You got some orcs. You know, you can use them for either one. You don't have to just leave them limited to the games that they're in. So find the models that you want. Find ways to bring them in. Warhammer is filled with them, especially Age of Sigmar, but even 40k, you can pull some of that stuff and you can use it. D&D doesn't have to be played in the past. It can be played in the future. You can have Paladin Space Marines, right? I mean, how cool would that be? Cleric Apothecaries, Rogue Assassins, you know, you can use all of those things with the stuff that comes with 40k. So get out there and try it. As a DM, I love hearing about what other DMs are doing, what they're doing. I love listening to the podcasts, not because I want to steal their ideas, but because I want to know what they're doing to change the game up, to make it different. And so I loved hearing this, but I would love to hear what other people are doing to make their game better. You know, are they using miniatures from other games? If so, which ones and how did you use them? You know, and war games, you can use anything to play a war game. You just got to know what it is. It stands in as a proxy, right? So if you got the D&D stuff and you want to learn how to play Warhammer, you got most of what you need already. Just find a friend who's willing to pretend and you can figure it out and see if it's something you want to get into. But either way, I want to know what you've done. Have you 3D printed an army and played with it? And if you did, were people open to playing against a 3D printed army? You know, I think this community is a lot kinder than we give it credit for. And so I want to hear about it. And like I said, like and subscribe. Stay tuned for next week's video about 3D printing Warhammer. As always, thank you for checking out our channel. Here at Pulsegate Games, we're all about making your tabletop experience better. And as always, just remember, don't spend so much time making your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Until next time.